Welcome everybody. I am here to do a demonstration of how to use the online homework system for 6242. So first step is to go to the course website. If you don't have it bookmarked already, I would recommend doing so for your own convenience. Here's my bookmark for the course. Once this comes up, I will go to the homework portal. This is where the video that I'm going to be recording right now will be posted when I'm all done. So each of your homeworks will be available through this portal. Icon will be used for the quizzes. So on the syllabus, you will note that for everything that is due, I'm giving you the mechanism as well as the due date. So for instance, homework 0 is due online by September 7th. That's what we're doing today. Your first formative assessment is due via Icon. And then the alternating weeks have formative assessments or homeworks online, uh, homeworks online, formative assessments on Icon. So here we go. It's going to ask you for your last number. You can see that I've got several choices here. I'm going to use a dummy login that I use for demonstration purposes. So you will type in your own last name and your 8-digit Iowa ID. No, I don't need to change my password. Thank you. Once you have logged in, you will see a landing page that looks like this. It will have all of the assignments that have been activated thus far. Right now, we're only at homework 0. It gives you a tally of all of the points that you've earned for homework, for quiz points, for bonus points, and your current grade. So every time that something is due within the next day or two, I will upload upgraded point totals to the system so that you can always see where you stand. But for now, we're going to be demonstrating homework 0. So I'm going to click begin. And this is what it looks like. So at the top, it will tell you how many points total it is worth, as well as how many points from each type of question. So there's computational questions and there's results questions. Each other homework besides this one will have files to be downloaded. Those will be located right here where the mouse is currently. And then for the computational questions. So these are numeric questions that you must enter to a given level of precision to have the answers counted as correct. The precision needed will always be given here for this. The most common one I think throughout the semester will be 0.01. So this homework is featuring information found on the syllabus. So how many regular homeworks are planned for this semester? Well, I happen to know that it is 6. Well, let me show you what happens if I type in a different number. So let's try 7 instead. I'm going to hit enter. And yeah, after a minute, it turns red. So any incorrect answers are going to be signaled red. The box is still active, so I can try again. What happens if I try 6? It turns green. How many points total are these homeworks worth? It happens to be 88 this time. Go to the next question. How many points will you lose if you complete a homework even 1 minute late? It's 1 for this semester. Note that the system knows what time the work was submitted, and so it is in charge of enforcing whether or not it's late or not. So even if it's 1 minute late, it's counted late according to the system. 1 point lost in that case. However, how many points of extra credit are you getting for doing this right now? 3 points. Go ahead and hit enter, and everything turns green. So those are the computational questions. You get infinite number of attempts to make them correct. It only records the last response that you tried. So I don't know how many times it took you to get it correct, and honestly, I don't care. So long as you get there eventually, that's the point. The next set of questions, so inside the homework, there's going to be sections. For instance, this homework has sections 1 and 2. And within each section, there's going to be computational questions as well as questions that ask about interpretation. So for this one, this is an example of what I call the Mad Libs format, where you are completing the sentences based on the information that you found above. So this is continuing information from the syllabus. My campus office is located. This one is actually trickier than usual. I am in South Lindquist Center, so I'll go ahead and select that one. Although my office hours will be held. This is the important one, not on campus. Campus is not a safe place to be right now. So I'm going to be in my basement at home on Zoom waiting for you guys in office hours. My office hours are going to be 3:15 to 4:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if no one is there, I will not end office hours early. I will stay on just in case anyone wants to pop on later in the session. So I will stay logged on. I will find something to keep myself busy in the meantime. So I'm picking numbers 2 and 3. So these results questions do not turn red or green. You won't know how you did on those until after you submit the homework. If you want to take a break from homework and come back and finish it later, make sure that you scroll down to the bottom of the page and hit check and save your answers. That way the choices that you've selected for these drop-down questions will be saved by the system and you can start from where you left off the next time that you log in. So here's some more questions. How many points from out-of-class formative assessments? This semester it's going to be 12. How many days per week are we meeting? It's going to be 2. And how many class periods are we scheduled not to meet? Currently it is 1. But I'm going to put in 0 so that I can show you what happens if you end up with an incorrect response when you submit. So I'll go ahead and hit enter. So right now 2 of them are correct, 1 of them is incorrect. The results questions for this section are of a different format. They're going to be multiple choice, so we'll demonstrate those as well. The class uses SAS. It is currently available where? Anywhere using UI or Virtual Desktop. This class will use Stata, which is also this semester available anywhere using Virtual Desktop. And last but not least, this class will be, what I mean to say is that it is challenging, but in a good way. But I want to deliberately pick the wrong answer so that I can show you what it would look like if you were to have a wrong answer when you submit. So I'm going to pick a nightmare, which is what a common misperception would be for what statistics classes involve. So I'm going to go ahead and hit check and save, make sure everything is logged in the system. And when you decide that you're done, there are 2 steps to take. Submit final answers is where we go. And you'll notice that the former drop-down menus are gone so that you can just read the text that you've selected. That way it makes it a little bit easier to review it and potentially troubleshoot. If you decide that you're happy with your submission, there's one more step. You must re-enter your password and hit submit final answers. The reason that I do this is to prevent people from accidentally submitting before that they're ready. If you look at this page and you realize that you want to change an answer instead, there's a button for go back and change something, and that takes you back to the version where the drop-down menus are again accessible. So in my account, I have the due date set for the past. That way I can show you what will happen after you submit and the due date has passed. So I'm going to go ahead and say submit final answers. I'm going to put in my dummy password. And at the bottom of the screen, it says, thank you, your answers have been submitted. So please do not leave until you see this thank you message. It has happened every single semester that someone emails me after the due date is passed, realizing that they forgot to submit. So I'm hoping to cut down on the number of those errors this time. So once you've submitted and you have confirmation of the submission, you're good. So now you can go back to the main page, and if you revisit your homework before the due date, you will see the same format that you left off with, where everything is just unscored for the results sections. Once you come back after the due date has passed, which is the case for my example demo here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the results, and you can see what happens. So this is the type of screen that you will see after the due date has passed. Any of the answers in the results section that are correct will be in green. So all of these were correct on purpose. For the computational questions, it will give you whatever you typed in last that was incorrect, as well as the correct answer off to the side in green. So that way you can work backwards to try and figure out how the correct answer should have been obtained. I'm happy to help you try and figure that out after the fact if you wish. And the same thing is true for the drop-down questions or for the multiple choice questions. If you have a wrong answer, it will be in red, followed by the correct answer in green. And at the bottom also will be your total points assignment. So note that each of these assignments is going to be several questions, somewhere between, I think, 60 and 100 in total. That means each question is worth just a small fraction of a point. So if you work your way through homework and you can't get one or two answers, and you decide that it's just not going to happen for you and you want to go ahead and submit, that's totally fine. I'm happy to answer questions after the fact to help you troubleshoot where you went wrong. That way you don't lose any points from submitting late. So in this case, I got 6 out of 7 computational points correct. I got 6 out of 7 results sections correct, and so it gives me my total of 2.57 out of 3. So for all of you who are completing this on your own, I hope that you can get all 3 points correct so that you can get those for extra credit. And if you ever want to see what the original account would look like, you can use one of my dummy accounts, the last name 13, and this password. Looks like I'm missing a 3 on there. I'll have to go ahead and fix that. That way you can get sort of a fresh version of the homework if you wish. So that is the homework system. Please go ahead and complete it and submit it. Let me know if you come up with any problems, if there's errors in your last name or your ID number or any of that, and hopefully we'll be ready to roll for the semester. All right, thanks for listening. Hello, everybody. I am here